Hello everyone, Dr. T here today with Tuesday's Q&A. Dr. T, I'm currently a little over 4 weeks pregnant. I had implantation spotting that was light pink and lasted 1 day, 10 days past ovulation. Now I'm 15 days past ovulation and I'm having red bleeding, but it only happens when I wipe. Is this normal? This is sometimes normal. There should only be concern if it is continuous for weeks into days, if you're seeing any clotting, or if it's increasing in the amount. So you're seeing it not only when you wipe. All right, Dr. T, I usually have a 28-day cycle. Currently, I'm on day 37. However, all of my pregnancy tests are coming up negative. It's been 3 weeks since I had sex, but I don't understand what's going on. My last period was normal. Please tell me, am I pregnant? There is a strong likelihood that you could be pregnant. However, only a positive test would tell you. I suspect that if you are, their tests are coming up negative because your HCG, which is the pregnancy hormone, is building up very slowly. So what I would do is wait a couple of weeks. As always, I recommend that you get two different brands of tests. Take them both in the morning with your first morning urine and see what happens. You can always visit a clinic and get a blood test, which will be more accurate. All right, Dr. T, I feel like I have a hole in my vagina and I keep bleeding. Well, vaginas do have holes. I don't know how long you've been bleeding and how much. So that's very important information, as well as your menstrual cycle history. So I'm going to need you to give me a call or reach out by email so that we can discuss this further. All right, Dr. T, I've been on my period off and on since August, but in September I passed large clots, and since then I've had bleeding most days and are bleeding heavily. I'm 52 years old and I was wondering if I should have some blood tests. You should have some blood tests. With your age range, I'm inclined to believe that you're going through menopause and hormones are erratic during that time. So it's not uncommon to have abnormal bleeding. A lot of times it's heavier than usual, sometimes it's lighter than usual. It can or cannot have clots, but the issue is it's unpredictable. So, but if you would like to put your mind at rest to make sure that's what it is, a few simple blood tests will let you know. All right, Dr. T, I'm bleeding from my vagina and it started yesterday. It's a brownish color and now it's starting to get brighter red. It's not my period and I did take a morning after pill about a week ago. Okay, so brownish color, that would be considered spotting. Um, if it gets really heavy, then I would definitely go in to be seen. But it's difficult to know really what's going on because it's not a lot of information that you're giving me. Um, yeah, you would have to tell me more so about what your cycles are like. You took the morning after pill, so safe to assume you're sexually active. Um, you could take a couple of home pregnancy tests, but I would still wait a couple of weeks and see how things progress. All right, Dr. T, I really need your help since I've been having terrible stomach pains ever since I returned from my trip to Africa 2 months ago. Sometimes the ache is rapid and strong, and I can feel movements in my stomach and pelvic area. All of this has led me to believe that I am, despite the fact that I'm unmarried, and I had this suspicion because during my holiday, one of my family members was touching me. He touched my thighs after using the toilet, and I also recall playing with him until he fell on top of me and close to my private area and stayed there for about a minute or so. And this was during my fertile window. right before I ovulated. Growing up in a strict household, my mother always used to say that such behavior can lead to pregnancy, and I'm afraid because I have pregnancy related symptoms. My areolas are black. I have a sensation in my chest, a bloated stomach that makes me feel full even when not eating. Okay, it sounds like you have a number of things going on here. So, first of all, I will address your feeling of fullness and the supposed fetal movements. Now, if you were hypothetically pregnant, you would not be feeling fetal movements this soon into pregnancy. What you could be feeling are sensations of gas or digestion, which would also explain the bloating that you're feeling. Let's see, strong my pelvic area. Um, the only way that you would know if you were pregnant is to take a pregnancy test. However, from your dialogue, it does not say that you were nude during any of this time or that an actual intercourse or any other type of sexual play occurred. So I'm not inclined to think that you became pregnant just because he fell on top of you. Now, I would like to address though, if you have or are considering intercourse with your relative, you should know that having a baby resulting from incest could very likely result in a number of issues if the baby even made it, because they have a very high rate of fetal mortality. It would be likely that you would be facing issues such as cleft palate, severe heart conditions, mental retardation, along with decreased growth rate and many times facial deformities. So, that is not something that I would advise you to consider or partake in. That is all for today's Q&A. I hope you found it interesting and helpful. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you know how to reach us.